Hello, Matt and Braden. I'm so excited to have the chance to be working with you. Before we get started, I wanted to explain to you some of the most important aspects of an experience. I learned these in an experience design class that I took my junior years as an experience design and management student. The first aspect of an experience I want to tell you about is intentionality. This seems simple, but is really the difference between a good and a great experience. It is, as you likely know, doing something with full purpose and intent. There's no half-heartedness when it comes to being intentional. So, this means when you are designing an experience around anything, you must be sure to have a good purpose behind it. Whether it's an event, product, brand, or even somebody's work day, you must expend all that you can to intentionally make it the best that it can be for the person you are creating it for. Here's a fictional example of someone who benefited from the intentionality in the workplace. Sally is a waitress at the Yummy restaurant. She comes to work but is not treated fairly among the other workers. There are sexist comments made against her along with the unequal disbursement of their shared tips. She fills out the quarterly survey and files her complaints, but no one does anything to fix them. Thankfully, Sally soon gets a new manager. He comes in and reads the complaints that she made and pulls her aside to talk about them. Finally, someone is intentionally going to listen to and help her. This new manager quickly went to work to make sure there were even tip disbursements and met with each of the employees who stopped the sexist comments being made. Because of his intentional work and not just simply sending out a survey and doing nothing, Sally finally had a place where she felt safe at work. The next aspects of an experience I'd like to go over are the 3 phases of an experience and some principles associated with them. These phases can also bring an experience from good to great if you intentionally think about each one. They are anticipation, participation, and reflection. Now, first we have anticipation. Were you excited to hear that one? This phase includes everything that comes before the actual participation. So this is when you find out about the experience and get to look forward to actually participating in it. If you get people excited to participate, you're already creating a positive image around your brand. A big part of the fun is getting excited to do something. It's the butterflies that you get before you go on a roller coaster or buy a product that you have been saving up for months. As you can see, if you articulate this phase well, it can add a lot of oomph to your experience as people eagerly await it. That being said, if you have a great anticipation and then a terrible participation phase, then it's all going to be for nothing. So it's important to get people excited in an honest way so that they know what to expect. Now, the participation phase includes, of course, actually doing the experience. Your experience isn't an experience without this phase, so you need to make sure that this part is done well and that a lot of effort has gone into it. What's helpful to remember with this phase is the peak end rule. Now, the peak end rule explains what people remember most from your experience. This is whatever the peak is during their participation and however it ends. So a peak can include going on your favorite roller coaster and the end is leaving the park to find your car. You don't really think about the in-betweens. Make sure to put some good intention and effort into these 2 areas especially, and it will most likely be a hit. After their peak moments, the participators will then hopefully have some great memories and maybe even some memorabilia to take with them, which brings us to the last of these phases, reflection. Now, reflection can include simply looking back on the experience you had or enjoying any type of memorabilia that you got. Memorabilia does tend to help this go as you physically have something to help you remember, but if you create an experience great enough, memorabilia isn't even needed for good reflection. The peak end rule mentioned earlier is applicable to remembering this phase of your experience too, because it's what your participants are actually remembering, the peak and the end. Another great way to help your participants remember their experience is to break the script, or in other words, do something unexpected. This again takes us back to the participation phase, but is applicable here because if you break the script well, your participants are more likely to remember your experience and want to come back. When there's a positive element of surprise, your customers will be engaged during their experience, which helps them to remember it. Now, isn't that a great surprise? Now, hopefully you remember that this is the best presentation that you've ever seen. Well, maybe not, but you'll at least remember the fun feeling that you got from the picture. It's puppies. Some other great ways to help customers reflect positively on their experience are to give them some type of memorabilia to remember the time and place where they got it, or to send something like a survey or invitation to come back again, which then gives them time to reflect on what happened when they were there before. When you add these 3 phases together, you are left with an exciting and unforgettable experience. It's important to be intentional about them each, or else it won't flow as well and be easier to forget. Without intentionality, your experience won't be very good. It's as simple as that. Now, going forward, let's make sure to intentionally give our customers something to look forward to, enjoy, and reflect on so they want to keep coming back. I'm sure that these principles can really boost our retention rate, and I'm looking forward to seeing this happen as I work alongside you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later.